Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this is Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 Lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Oak Knoll, an active life care community powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here is your host, Rob Brooks.
And we're back from the Pacific Northwest with a record-setting type of victory at Washington last night, 85-61. An incredible shooting performance by the Hawkeyes, has shot 100% from three-point range, 8 out of 8, and 74% from the field in the first 20 minutes of the game. And Lucy Olson, boy, is she back, as she was perfect from the floor, 8 out of 8, including 4 out of 4 from deep, 20 points as the Hawkeyes handled the Huskies. Its largest margin of defeat at home since back on February the 4th in 2024 when Colorado won by 23 points. The Hawks also put 50 on the board in the first half and never looked back and won it 85-61. Won the first three quarters 26-14, 24-12 in the second. And then really key to come out, keep that foot on the gas in the third quarter. Won that one 21-13, cruising to victory. And, of course, great to have Raina Harmon here, assistant coach for the Hawkeyes, talking about the trip out west and just all things in general. And we'll have a special guest a little bit later on. And, Raina, thanks for coming. And Jan, watching a little more basketball tonight.
Yeah, she had an opportunity to go watch her daughter, Janie, who's recently taken up basketball. And so, that's important, right? I think that's, been super important in all of my years here, that we understand a work-life balance, right? And so Jan's been getting after it in her first year, and it was an early morning, right. Should I say. Not even a late night. It was an early morning for us. And so, she wanted an opportunity to go do that, and I love to hang out with the Hawks. So I was like, tonight, I'll hold it down. Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Absolutely. And you can join in the conversation, the first hour of Hawk Talk here on a Thursday night. The Twitter is @Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. Facebook, facebook.com/HSP Learfield. You can also check us out at the U.S. Cellular text line. That is 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344. And you can also email your question at hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. And right up, we left on Saturday, got home, as you mentioned, about, 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. And that's just the new Big Ten, as we were talking to Jan. If I fall asleep, just nudge me, will you? And it's just coast to coast now, and it's part of it. Get to see some new places, new teams, and it's not easy to win on the road, but the way the Hawkeyes were able to come back after a really tough loss at Oregon, 52-49, have to sit on that for a couple of days, and just to come out on all cylinders like that, it just speaks volume of what this coaching staff has been saying is, hey, we're together, we're working, we're really close, we're going to break through, and boy, that was a breakthrough. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way we came out yesterday, we were due for it, right? And I mean, it's the way we've been practicing since January, to be honest. And then you think about, like, where we first got started, kind of on this streak, right? A little lull here, and it was Maryland, and right? So we finally put it together in the third quarter. But every game, whether it was on the road at Illinois, whether it was
Indiana, Nebraska, or Oregon, I mean, we were inching closer and closer and closer to putting it all together. And I think, I've been saying this to the media, I feel like we did tweak with the starting lineups a little bit just to try to get off to some faster starts. And I think we found a formula that worked at Illinois, and then back at home again against Nebraska. Were good, but then we were trying to shore up our finishes, right? So you go back to that Oregon game. I mean, we came out pretty hot in the first half, and I mean, we just could not put the ball in the basket in the second half. And so for us, sure, we like to talk about how we start, but more importantly, it was about how we finished. And I was really impressed with the way that we started yesterday, the way that we played together, the way that we showed synergy and chemistry yesterday, especially in that second half.
And it's just amazing with this game. You've been around it your entire life. Boy, when that ball goes in, it just feels so much better, doesn't it? You play defense, you can play rebound, but when that thing goes through the iron, boy, it makes it so much nicer.
I mean, and then we just celebrate it all, right? Celebrate the assist, celebrate the three, celebrate when we're hitting our free throws, right? And so I think just last night there was a lot to celebrate, and to be able to get, everybody in that game and everybody contribute in some capacity was pretty fun for us.
But you're right about the starts. They've just been terrific, and you go on the road to Oregon and get off to that 17-7 start and shoot 7 for 12, 58%, knocked down a couple of threes, and then kind of dwindled from there. But as you mentioned about defense and rebounding, those are important things too. Amazing still in that game. It was kind of the first one to 50.
Yeah, unfortunately, which is not typical of Big Ten basketball or Iowa basketball,
Hawks,
right? I mean, who would have thought, going into this year, if I would have had to deem our team to have an identity, I would have said we're a defensive team. But that's really what it's come down to. And I think, our players really relish the opportunity to get out there and trap some ball screens like we did yesterday, or to, out-rebound a team. That's really what it's just come down to, and I think our freshmen are kind of just leading the charge on that. They're like, well, we're still trying to figure it out offensively, but we can run around and create some chaos defensively. But to that end, though, we're still trying to put it together with some chemistry on the offensive end. And I think, for some of our upperclassmen, they really haven't had an opportunity to be in the roles that they now have to be in, right? And then you even bring in a player like Lucy Olsen, who, she didn't run this style of basketball at Villanova. And so I think we're finally figuring out something that clicks. And like I said earlier, it's been clicking in practice. But now just to put it all together, for 40 minutes in front of crowds, I think we're trending in the right direction at the right time.
And you talk about the leads these last two games, even at Oregon, led for 32 minutes and 5 seconds. And then last night took over early in the first quarter and led for 36 minutes and 33 seconds and get 44 points in the paint and 22 bench points. And how good has Addie been at the beginning of games? And you can say that again last night.
Yeah, Addie's playing with a ton of confidence right now. And the one thing that she's doing a lot more this year, I would say, even in the second half of the back half of the season, she's demanding the ball a lot more. And she's being a little bit more aggressive. She's getting on the boards a little bit and being able to finish and go to the free throw line. So I just commend her, because this kid's been working, right, for 4 years, and it's finally paying off for her right now.
And I think you go back to the 5 games and just so close. There's always just like one aspect of the game, wasn't it? Whether it's free throws a couple of times, just tough shooting, like this third and fourth quarters at Oregon. And that's been it. And you just go back and look at that film, as all of you do right after the game, and you can pinpoint just a couple of things that just could have been a little bit different. And you're not even talking about that then.
Yeah, and that, that's the one thing. I would say the aspect of coaching, right, that just sometimes is so mind-boggling, because one day it's your free throws. Another day it's your three-point shooting. Another day it might just be your defense. And so I would say, we haven't been able to just find one singular thing that we need to shore up at the end of these games besides scoring more points and getting more stops, right? But like I said, just to be able to figure out how to put it together right now as we're, trending into February, we're going to be sitting good.
And you got to give this team, coaching staff, obviously, just a ton of credit to stay the course. And the energy was great at practice on the road on Monday and Tuesday. And that's great to see, and a testament to toughness going forward, saying, hey, we're going to get this done, and to have it happen like that. And you didn't have to sweat this one out, which is tough to do in conference play.
On the road, right? And shout out to all the Hawkeye fans that were in Seattle last night. Right? Holy moly, I would say 50-50 maybe, right? Felt a little like a home game, so I appreciated that. But, yeah, you're right. Like, our the freshman class, they are fun. And a lot of times freshmen, they just don't know what they don't know, right? And so they just show up ready to get after it every single day, and you got to appreciate that. And so what we have right now is you have our senior class that their expectations are really high, their standards are really high, they're coming in every day and they're driving really efficient practices. And then we don't have a ton in the middle, right? I mean, we got 3 juniors and 1 sophomore, so we don't have a ton there in the middle. And so I think of our junior class, even as seniors at this point, right, with Taylor, Jada, and Hannah, and then Kenise, who's out this year. But then our freshman class, who's just showing up like basketball is fun. Shout out to Lucy. But, they're coming in every day, and they just have this way about them that no matter what the result says, every practice the next day, they're just ready to get after it. They're in the gym before practice starts, getting shots up. They're always getting with their position coaches, getting extra shots up or watching film. They're staying later to scrimmage the managers. So they're doing everything that we ask them to do, no matter, what the end result is. And that's culture. Right. And so I know Jan and even Lisa would say, it doesn't matter who you recruit. The names on the back of the jersey may change, but the culture stays the same. And if you ask me, I would say this is this is exactly what last year's team did. And the year before that, and the year before that. And I think, when we put it all together, why you're able to see so much fun is because at their core, that's truly who they are. I
was talking to Jan pregame yesterday. I said, talking about the start at Oregon, I said 58% shooting. Well, I know you're not going to keep that up for 4 quarters, but can you keep it at 45, 42? What do I know? You go out and shoot 71% last night.
Hello. Where are my shooters at? It's so funny. So the last few games, 70% from the three-point line, that's wild, right? And if you guys follow my socials, I'm always hashtag where my shooters at, right? For the last few games, I've been hashtag where my shooters at with a question mark on the end. And last
Only
night,
one?
Oh, man. And so, last night, I think we ended that hashtag with the exclamation point. But, shout out to our team, like I said, who's always in the gym, and they're ready. I mean, I think you look at somebody like even freshman Tegan Malini, right? I mean, that kid's been struggling from behind the arc, but every time she gets in, we tell her, you got the green light. Taylor McCabe, you have the green light. If you get 2 eyes at the rim and you got space, let it fly, because they've put in the work to be able to take those shots in the game, and I was happy to be able to see it go down for them.
And obviously with Hannah out, Tegan playing quite a few minutes, had 15 minutes last night, knocked down a 3. And you look at her plus-minus on the box score, she was a plus 19 coming off the bench.
That's right. One thing with Tegan, too, we know she can shoot, right? And I've been challenged her, especially at that 4 spot, right? Because you look at, it's Hannah, and it's been Sydney, right? And one of their best attributes is rebounding. And so we know that Tegan can shoot, and I'm like, Tegan, you're going to knock down some shots. I understand that, but I need you to also get on the boards. And so what does she do? She go out and get 5 rebounds last night, 2 of them being an offensive rebound, 1 for a putback.
Yeah, 32 to 16 on the boards. Just a remarkable performance there. And the box outs were there. How many fouls were there on rebounds where the Hawks were in position?
Yeah, shouts to the refs for giving us that call. There could have been more.
Right.
There could have been more.
Always.
But but that's just something that we've been talking about all season, is being, kind of stingy there, making sure we box out. And, there's, especially with some of these new teams that are in our league that we're not familiar with, I mean, they just get taller and taller and taller, right? So we're not going to be able to out-jump many people in our league, but what we can do is have some grit and some toughness, some physicality about us. And, I thought they hit a body yesterday, and the refs called it pretty fairly.
It looked to me last night that they were locked into the scout, and offense, defense, never let Washington Stars, good three-point shooters, which they lead the Big Ten, get hot. And most of the points by the starters came in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
and that's indicative of how they've been the last few games. I think they've pretty much been locked into our scouts. I think our scouts have been spot on, for this run here in January. But like you said, I mean, we keep talking about, we're getting closer and closer and closer. And I mean, you go from a 1-point game is like, we have to have the basketball gods on our side now, right? Like,
please,
to be able to go out and get that win. But I thought they did a good job. We talked about them being one of the best 3-point shooting teams in our conference, and talking about our 3-point defense this season hasn't been great. So do what we need to do to run them off the line, force them in the lane, force them to take tough threes, which I thought we saw a few air balls from Washington last night, or make them shoot tough twos. And I thought we did a good job. We boxed out and we went on the other way.
And how many shots did they have to shoot inside of 5 seconds left on the shot clock?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a testament right there to our defense, knowing the scout. Even when we're switching, we're trapping, we were doing a lot of things. And one thing that I see that's really coming together nicely, and it's tough to coach sometimes, is the communication between our players on the floor. Knowing, that you have to play somebody, and this is intricate details, right? But like, you don't need to guard her for 10 feet. but somebody else, you might need to be right there in her pocket. And to be able to communicate those things while in a game in 30 seconds and you're switching players consistently every possession, I thought they executed that perfectly.
Do you feel like the transition game kind of got going?
Yeah, they did. And a lot of teams, I think, too, teams that are really familiar with us, that we've played over the last few years, they've kind of figured out how to slow us down a little bit. I mean, you look at Nebraska, who would send 2 people up, or everybody else just looking to take away those long passes down the floor. And I think, just bringing 4 new teams into our league, they're not going to be used to everything that we try to do, which is a benefit for us. But I did think, us being able to get the ball up, from the point guard up to the 2, which is the shooter, and then into our post right away was huge for us. And then being able to hit Taylor McCabe on some of those long passes up the floor was key as well.
Yeah, just to get Lucy going. That's just a great sign going forward. 8 out of 8, 4 out of 4 from 3, as we mentioned. Get her back on track with 20 points. She's your leading scorer, and a game like that is much needed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes our offense goes as Lucy goes, right? And so, I mean, she had a great night last night, and the Hawks had a great night last night. Anytime, she's such a scoring threat, right? To be able to get 2 feet in the paint, everybody might as well just get back, right? Because that's going in. And so, but she's been struggling a little bit from the 3-point line. And so one thing you guys saw in, what game was that we played right before at home? Nebraska, right? Yep. The free throw situation, right? Mm-hmm. If you guys stuck around, what did she do right after the game? And it's not a gimmick. Right. It's not a gimmick at all. She wanted to be better with free throws, and it was fresh in her mind, and she's probably the most frustrated that she's going to be in that moment right after the game. And so what did she do? She went out there and she worked on her free throws. Same thing with her threes, right? When she's frustrated, she's going out there and she's attacking it every single day. She's getting in extra work, be it with Abby or Tanaya. I mean, she is a gym rat. She loves being in the gym. And so, same with her. I think one thing that she's been noticing as she's getting older, and especially in this league, people are a little bit longer than in the Big East, is finding the best shot selection for her. So I know she's been spending a lot of time in the film room just trying to figure out when's a great time to take that pull-up, maybe when's a great time to take that 3, or when to look to drive, and she's starting to put it together.
And obviously, opposing team scouting report, she's going to be right there at the top to stop Lucy Olson.
Tippy top.
Very top. And another thing, too, and hopefully Hannah's progressing. I wish her certainly the best, but not an easy thing to do to lose one of your top players on a very key road trip.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, and injuries happen, right? And I know, Hannah wanted to be with us. I mean, she was sending text messages. She sent a really cool text message to our program's group chat before we left, and she's like, I believe in you guys so much. I want to be with you guys, but I believe in you, and you're going to come back with the win. You can get this done. And that, I mean, a lot of maturity, for a player to be able to do that, knowing that, they would be in this starting position. They were playing well, can go out there and help contribute to some wins, and just, because of something that happens in 3 seconds, stops her from being able to go out west. But that's why we play the game, right? It's next person up. And fortunately for us, we have made the decision now that, I mean, in the last game where Hannah played, she was moved to the starting 5, and so you lose her. Addie has all the experience in the world, and Ava's slowly starting to get that experience too. And so for us, we're very fortunate that this year has been one of the deepest years that we had this season. And so, having to move people around, maybe Sydney not playing in the beginning, maybe Aaliyah not playing as many minutes in Tennessee, Hannah not going out west. Some players have been forced to step up in different roles, and I thought, Addie and Ava, even AJ getting in at the end of the game yesterday, and she had some, able to go to the free throw line and tie up some loose balls and things like that. I thought that post position was ready to take on whatever came their way.
11 players scored last night, and that's a great thing to see, and great for Hannah to step up with that leadership too, because it's tough on everybody, but it's most tough on her not to be able to go, obviously.
Absolutely.
Well, we're off and running here for Hawk Talk, and you can jump into the conversation, as many of you have already, and we'll give you the Twitter handle once again at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. We're also at Facebook.com/HSP Learfield. U.S. Cellular text line is 319-853-8344. You can email your question, and we'll get to them. HawkTalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Hawk Talk is presented by Oak Knoll, as their mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is conveniently located near the University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick Stadium. Of course, Carver Hawkeye Arena and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oaknoll.com to learn more. Don't forget that throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling all of us. Go to iowacorn.org to learn how corn grows Iowa. We'll have more Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville after the break. You're listening to Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, with our partner, NG Iowa, is offering full-time positions in utility operations for our campus and hospital water, heating, steam, and distribution systems. Check out the jobs and apply at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new Nines in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
Woo-hoo! I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
Third down 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We are at the Hyatt Regency Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar on a Thursday night. Next week, we will be here on Wednesday. That's January the 29th. Amazing how this month has flown by from 6 until 7. So next Wednesday, after the Northwestern game on Tuesday night. And don't forget, Aaliyah Guyton will be here with us here in a little while. Get a chance to talk to her. If you have a question for Aaliyah, come on up during a break and we'll take it and ask the super freshman for the Hawkeyes. We've got plenty of Twitter questions to go to, and Mark, he's a big-time Hawkeye fan living in Eugene, Oregon, and he was at the game and just talked about how close it was and mentioned that Addie really looked good on that jump shot at the end, and she had made a couple back in the first quarter, but really wants to know about the freshmen and just to talk about each freshman's next step in development and kind of where they are now versus when maybe they hit campus because, hey, now almost got a full year. under their belts?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the question, Mark. We talked about this with our freshmen. I think it was after the Oregon game, and they are closer to sophomores than they are to beginning as freshmen, right? And so I think, they have 5 different unique experiences, this season. And, for freshmen, it could be, the processes are different for all of them. And I mean, you look at Aaliyah Guyton or Taylor Strimlow, who started some games, and you look at Callie, who doesn't get in many games, right? And so we talked to all of them about just staying the course and make sure you run your race and don't compare your race to anybody else's. But this class is really, really special. But to answer your question, so I think, where each freshman are in their development right now, I think, with Aaliyah Guyton, she was big time delayed, right? I mean, she didn't practice this entire summer, and in fact had a few practices before her first game, and I mean, kind of just got thrown to the fire down there in Cancun,
yep.
Right? And so we didn't really plan to play her as much as we did, but because we had an injury to Lucy Olsen, we had to play Aaliyah as one of our point guards, and I thought she stepped up to the challenge, and I think really because she's kind of just been go get it. She's gotten a lot better. And I mean, she comes from great stock, right? Her mom and her dad both play basketball, so she understands basketball at a high level. She's really fast.
Her dad played a lot of basketball.
Her dad played a lot of basketball with the Bulls. Her mom played for the Brazilian national team. So she's very high IQ basketball player. And she's another one that's always in the gym, just trying to figure out, what's going to be her best shooting attribute. And I think right now, her pushing the ball in transition is probably one of her best attributes, as well as her defense, which I think gets overshadowed sometimes. But a lot of times when you look, sometimes she's coming in for Kylie right now, who's charged with defending the team's best player. And so we then throw Aaliyah on the team's best player. And so her defense has significantly improved. I think one thing for her just moving forward is her figuring out, how not to have the same type of turnover 2 possessions in a row, right? And I don't mean back-to-back possessions, but the 2 possessions that she does have, a lot of time they're in the paint where she's just trying to rush decisions. And, for a lot of freshmen, this is their first time coming into a game where they're playing with the shot clock, right? So the game is a lot faster on both ends of the floor. And you even think about the end of the game, I mean, we're advancing the ball, and they're like, what is this? And so that's new for a lot of them. And so for her, I think, just being able to stay a step ahead, limiting some of those turnovers and just picking those spots. I mean, she's deadly from behind the 3-point arc right now. So we love that for her right now. Tegan, who's in my position group, I think the sky is the limit for Tegan. And I still do believe, and I tell her, you remind me of somebody, and her name is McKenna Warnock. And I do believe that when it's said and done, she's going to be like her. I mean, could you imagine being on another team, and as the 4, you first have to defend Hannah Stalkey, and then you have to defend Tegan Mulaney, and then sometimes you have to defend Sydney Afalter. I mean, I got blessed with all 3 of those guys being in my position group, right? And so I think for Tegan, just trying to figure it out, like she's coming from a place where in high school, she was every position, right? She was 1 through 5. She would bring the ball up the floor, pass to somebody else, go post up, and then score a layup. Which is not necessarily the case for her right now. And so I think the biggest thing for her that she needs to find right now is her confidence, right? Because we have all the confidence in the world in her. And so you look at some of the open threes that she's missing. She doesn't miss those shots in practice. And so, we give her the green light, keep taking those shots, keep having belief in yourself. And as well, I think for her, just limiting some of those turnovers and just I do think, playing the 4 position is tough in this league defensively because, again, you could be going up against an actual post player or an actual guard, and that can be in the same game as people have tried to defend us. So challenging her with just being a good communicator, because a lot of times the 4 on our team is the player that is either calling the switches with the guards or not, right? They're kind of the anchor defensively a little bit in the ball screen situation. So just having her be confident and to keep communicating, I think, is where she is right now in her development. Let's see, who else we got? Ava Hayden. Oh, man, she's coming along, isn't she? She's got a motor, and her first step for a 5 is wow. I mean, she's quick. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her grab the rim here in the near future because her vertical is also amazing. For her, it's just about being consistent, right? It's just about being consistent. She's playing this is the biggest bodies that she's ever had to go against in the Big Ten. And so for her, I think she's doing everything that we're asking her to do. She's catching the ball in great spots. I think just finding different ways to finish, to defend, and just getting used to the physicality on the block is going to be real pivotal for us coming down the stretch, especially as you look, we're going to have to go up against 6'8" here pretty soon in UCLA, right? Taylor Strimlow. Strim Wow, Strim Show. Get back Tay is usually what I call her.
The crowd knows who she is.
Oh, man. Taylor Strimlow is lightning in a bottle. It's so funny. So at the beginning of the season, I did dub her Get Back Tay because, she'll go in for some of those offensive rebounds. And a lot of times now she's starting to tie those balls up. But at the beginning of the season, she would go in there and get a foul. And so I found myself 3 times a game yelling, Get Back Tay. And her name became Get Back Tay. Now she's just Strim Wow. We'll stick with that. But I think
that's a couple of T-shirts coming.
No, absolutely. I think Taylor Strimlow, she's a Swiss Army knife, right? I mean, she can defend. She can play the point guard. She can play the 2. She can play the 3. She can shoot the 3. She can get in there and score. I think her best attribute right now is probably passing. And I think for her development, and this may sound so small, but I think this is the ability to hold on to possessions is her making her passes with 2 feet on the ground and not being in the air. Right? And so we tell her all the time, if you're on the ground, you have at least 3 seconds or 5 seconds to make a pass. If you're in the air, you only have as long as your vertical allows you to be up there, And so I think when we look at some of the turnovers that she has, it's usually because she's in the air. Now, here's the dilemma, though.
And you know what happens when you come down.
Yeah.
Traveling.
Here's the dilemma, though. She'll go up and she'll make this pass, and you guys will be like, oh, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like pulling my hair out because I'm trying to get her to stop doing it, right? And I mean, she has a high conversion rate. But I think for her, just being able to connect on the majority of those passes is going to be huge for her. And just staying aggressive. I mean, defensively, she is all over the place, right? She's kind of like Sydney and Molly last year, right, is what I think Taylor and Sydney has right now. They're going to get those extra possessions by way of jump balls, by way of rebounds, by way of just diving on the floor, doing whatever it takes to get that extra possession. And that's what we love about Tay right now. And then Callie Levine, who's also in my position group, and she's not seeing much time right now, but I pour into Callie. Our entire staff believes in her. As we're going into Big Ten season, she says, Coach Rayna, I realize that I'm not going to get a ton of reps here in practice, right, because practice is moving fast. Can I play on the scout team? Absolutely. And so, I mean, just for her to be like kind of self-aware in where she is on the depth chart, and she was another player that didn't get a lot of reps this summer, right? She was out, and so she was kind of coming in behind the 8 ball and a couple of seniors that are in front of her. But I mean, she's getting after it. I think about what her IQ is just going to grow to after this season, because literally, if she's playing on the scout team every day in practice, then she's running every Big Ten's offense every single day. And I mean, we've had some end-of-game scenarios, and Callie's been on the other team, and she's been the one that hits the game winner. And so her confidence is through the roof. I think when we look at Callie's trajectory, she plays a little bit like Kylie. She's not afraid to get to the basket. Her first step is really quick. She can shoot the 3. Her defense is phenomenal. So Callie's on her way.
One thing you mentioned, too, Rena, and the length of players. I think that's a big difference, isn't it, from high school to college? Talking about those passing angles and get in the air, something you could do at this time last year that isn't going to work right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we look at our freshmen, that's typically how those turnovers are coming, right? I mean, it's like, oh, I got this opening, and it's like grand opening, grand closing. Like it closes that quickly, so you got to think a little bit ahead. And really, I mean, that's what when players talk about slowing the game down, I think that's the process that the freshmen are currently going through, is where they can make some of those passes and connect some of those plays this time last year. Right now, they have to be able to slow the game down. And if you had that thought to pass it, you got 1 second to connect it. But it's their process, and I'm really pleased with how they're progressing.
Yeah, great description of all the freshmen. And a case from South Carolina wanted to know about the strengths, which you heard from Coach Harmon about all of those. And Liz is checking in from Iowa City. As we all know, she's typically here each week, but we saw her last night, and she's right now at the Denver airport, and wishing us all well and wishing she was right here in Iowa City. Wanted to congratulate Rena and the staff, as made a great comeback after the Oregon game, and she had a great experience attending last night in Seattle with friends and her daughter. And fun to see the team play so relaxed and playing like we all know that they can. And great to see Liz out in Seattle last night as she stopped by, and I'm sure we'll be back here next week. As a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. And when it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk. This is Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville from Learfield.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment. Knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Appreciate everybody coming out on this snowy Thursday night. Aaliyah Guyton is in the house and will join us here momentarily. Some other scores in the Big Ten tonight as we check the U.S. Bank scoreboard. We've been watching the Ohio State-Maryland game, and right now Maryland was up early. And now it's Ohio State making a push here in the fourth quarter on top by 10, 64-54. And UCLA, no problem so far with Rutgers, 36-22. That in the second quarter. And then Illinois at Northwestern a little bit later on tonight. And that's just life in the Big Ten. There's some really difficult games out there. And you look at the middle of the conference, which there are many teams.
Oh, yeah.
That is jumbled here as we head to the end of the month.
It is. And I mean, I thought it was jumbled in the years past. Yes. And then I look at, we have this board in our film room that has each team in their ranking. And I swear it goes now from the ceiling to the floor. I'm like, how many teams are in this league? But you're exactly right. I mean, in the middle, it's anybody's game any given night, right? And so a lot of those teams are in the middle, are fighting, for NCAA tournament seedings right now, right? And so how we're performing right now going into February is pretty big deal, for all of us in the Big Ten right now.
And it seems like, too, Rena, and teams get hot, and then obviously scheduling has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. You can get a tough stretch and still feel pretty good about yourself. And, Michigan's kind of one of those teams. Kind of got lost there for a while. A lot to do with who they were playing, and then now they're starting to make a run. Illinois, we've seen them all. Everybody's just really fighting, and that makes for close games and tough nights. But you got to keep fighting because there's going to be a lot of teams in this league in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I do believe that. And I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that we are the best league in women's basketball right now. You look at how many teams we have.
It got so much easier here the last year or two, right?
Oh, boy. You look at how many teams right now are in the top 25. And I mean, that's rotating, right? I mean, that's rotating. Teams that were in when we were are now out. Teams that were out when we were in are now in. And so you look at some of the upsets happening. I mean, Ohio State, Maryland, that would considered an upset,
and
right?
Ohio State gets beat at Penn State.
By Penn State, right? And so, I mean, it's kind of anybody's game. This is a tough league, and so you try to protect home court, right? That's super important as much as you can, and then you got to go out and steal some on the road.
Right, and get some of those close games. And thankfully, last night was not close, and it was a Hawkeye victory for sure. As Oak Knoll's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 58 years. And conveniently located near University of Iowa Healthcare, Kinnick Stadium, Carver, and downtown Iowa City, a proud longtime sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics and Hawk Talk. Visit oakknoll.com to learn more. And don't forget to join us each week right here at the Hyatt Regency's Watermill Kitchen and Bar. And you can watch the show live, as we appreciate everybody that comes out and does. And each week, offering an extended happy hour that includes dollar wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. So come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a great evening of Hawkeye Hoops. And we'll be here next Wednesday on the 29th of January. And Aaliyah Guyton will join us after the break. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk from their field.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while your hard-at-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
I'm Y.A. Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes,
and it's blocked it. Kick is blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Don't touch the ball.
Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, that man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
Welcome back. Our remaining moments of Hawk Talk. And don't forget to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey coming up at the top of the hour. Owen Freeman will be in the house for the Hawkeyes, and we're really happy to have Aaliyah Guyton here with us for a few minutes. Aaliyah, hopefully you got a few hours of sleep and got to class, all that good stuff today, huh? Just talk a little bit about your experience so far here at the University of Iowa, and we talked, Raina, some of your strengths on the basketball court, but what's kind of been different from high school coming into college and on and off the basketball floor?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of an experience, honestly, especially just coming off an injury. The last time I played basketball was in high school, and just transitioning from high school straight to college, not really getting too much of the college feel and just going straight into it. It was a ride, but I mean, I'm with the people that I enjoy being with every day, and Coach Raina and the rest of the coaching staff. Everybody just helped me so much, just to feel comfortable with them and to be in this environment. And it's really a blessing for real to just be around them and just be with a special group of people.
It's got to be a lot of fun being around Raina, huh? She's always up and always got something good to say, huh?
It is fun. She does say I could be the new assistant if possible. You know,
I did say that. Aaliyah. So when Aaliyah wasn't even fully.
Well, she took it to heart.
Yeah, she did. She wasn't even fully cleared to play yet, and she was in the office watching film, just trying to make sure that she knew her offense, because she knew that she wanted to be able to contribute right when she got healthy. And so there's not many players that would take the lead on that and literally watch other people play and learn the plays through them. And so when I say she's got a high basketball IQ and she gets after it every day, I mean, that's just an example of what I'm talking about.
And Jan's talked about, and you as well, about her leadership. And for a freshman to come in and have that, I mean, that's just a great thing now and a great thing for the future.
What do you
Talk about some of your leadership abilities and how you like to lead.
I mean, I think that's just what helps me to get going, just for me personally, and especially to just help the people around me, because I know I want to win, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And if it takes a little bit of vocal leadership, a little bit of leadership through my play, then I'm just going to do whatever is necessary to get that, to show my competitiveness and to show my teammates that, hey, I'm here to win, and I want y'all to come on this ride with me, you know.
And at the end of games, you're just so unafraid to take those big shots. Obviously, basketball in your blood, in your family. Did you learn that from your dad, huh? You got to take that key shot. I watched him not only with the Bulls, but all his time at Indiana as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he could put it in the hoop.
Yeah, he definitely could. But I mean, a lot of it comes from my mom as well.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was a dog. For those who didn't know, she was a dog. But I mean, just to have both parents understand what it's like to compete at such a high level, it's nothing but a blessing, honestly. And I just take in whatever information I can from them. I watch their films. Like recently, I have like 2 separate videos. I have one video of my mom that I watched, like a highlight reel, and also of my dad. And it just shows just how competitive they were. And I just talked to my dad recently. I was like, you could tell through the videos, like, how much they knew that nobody was messing with them and how much they knew they wanted to win. And I think that especially coming off injury, especially, you know, sometimes I can revert back to, you know, a couple of old ways, just not playing basketball for so long, but that's what keeps me going and keeps me motivated. On top of that, having the family that I have at Iowa.
Yeah, and going through a tough injury and getting back, that takes a lot of work physically and mentally too, but it seems like you've got through that with flying colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just also being a person of faith, I'm a big believer, so just sticking to my morals and just making sure I stay mentally tough, and also just praise the Lord as much as I can. I know He's always on my side. So,
Raina, about this freshman class, you kind of went through all the strengths, and talk about Aaliyah too off the court as far as those leadership abilities and what she's shown from day one since she got on campus.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you know, when we watched Aaliyah in high school, I mean, you could tell she was a leader right away, right? And on her team, she didn't have to say too much with her team, but just by her play, right? Like, she commanded the attention of all her teammates in high school. And again, you know, even this summer, watching her, I mean, she would be upstairs with a notebook in the summer, like drawing plays. All right, so wait, on this play, I'm going to go over here. No, you going to go to the training room and get this knee looked at. You know what I mean? But that's who she is, right? She wanted to have an impact immediately when she was cleared to play. I think, too, one thing that doesn't get a story that's not told is the relationship that she's been able to build with Tania Davis, right? And you think about jersey number, and you think about point guard, you think about a point guard that battled injuries. I think there's no greater asset to be able to learn, because Tania pretty much ran the same offense, and was coming off that injury. And so I think for her in the summer, Tania being able to share with her, this is what you need to do to get your body in order to play, right? Because Tania had, multiple things happen, right? And she's like, I would have done this. This is what you need to do. And so when Aaliyah talks about the family that she has here at Iowa, immediately I thought about Tania and how she just really looks after her, and as well as Abby, right, who's our position coach. And Abby's always trying to tweak the offense so that we can get Lucy a bucket and that we can get Aaliyah a bucket as well, if it's not the same play, And so for Aaliyah, though, just consistently staying the course. I think Jan said in one of the last press conferences when they asked about the leadership, who is it? Jan did not hesitate in saying Aaliyah Guyton, right? And I think it was at the end of that Nebraska game. And, Aaliyah came in and she's like, hey, everybody get in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coach, what we got? It's like, all right, freshman.
That's what we're looking for.
I would say, too, one thing that Aaliyah brought right away, and it was like one of the first practices that she was cleared to play in, was how she guarded Lucy in practice. And so we don't often have an opportunity this late in the season to practice against each other, but when we have those long stretches, maybe like tomorrow, because we don't play this weekend, just looking at, the way that her and Lucy playing the same position sometimes are able to compete against each other, they're going to be so much better for it because of the competitiveness that they bring every day to practice.
Yeah, Leah, talk about the competitiveness of practice. Of course, even after the Oregon game, got after it on the Monday, and with the freshmen and everything, how has the competition been during the week?
It's been great. Like Coach Raina said, it's just what I try to do at practice is one of my strengths. It's just being a little bit more aggressive and just attacking. Not to say I sound like that, but I do attack my teammates in a way because I know it's going to make me better and it's going to make them better as well, because at the end of the day, it's what we're going to play against also. So I want to make sure I'm prepared and that they're also prepared. That's my way of bringing in that type of leadership. So that's just one of my strengths as a player and as a teammate that I would like to continue to bring to the table and be consistent with, is just being competitive and, getting under their skin sometimes, making them a little bit upset, because it's going to happen.
Yep.
So just... yeah, that's what I aim to do a lot.
Bring a little attitude.
Yeah.
I like that, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Absolutely. Winning attitude. Yep. What has been kind of the big difference on the court? We've talked about some of the great defenders in this league, and you knew about the Big Ten coming in, and the length of the players, the speed. Has that been something that you've had to adapt to a little bit from high school?
Yeah.
And AAU ball, obviously.
I would definitely say for sure, especially IQ-wise also. Every player here is a good player, and there's not one player that you can just leave at the 3-point line, leave wide open, or cut them some slack. And everybody's going to have their own strengths, and it's just learning how to study each player, learning how to scout, learning how to adapt to certain plays, certain actions, and stuff like that. That's definitely been something that I've been adjusting, like learning how to guard certain ball screens and things of that nature. So I would definitely say those are the differences in high school and in college level for me.
Yeah,
so
it's the little things that you have to learn, Raina, right along the way.
Yeah, and
quicker the better.
Oh, the quicker the better, right? And there's still certain things that we're putting in. You think about the last few years, right? That team was we had them for so long, and I can tell them this now. They were old, right? Right, and so we were probably one of the oldest teams in the Big Ten last year, right? And so sometimes you take for granted how expedited you can be in your season, and now just making sure that we took the time this summer, even with the new head coach, right, to kind of just slow down, make sure everybody understood the terminology. But I think now we're on the right page where we can teach things in quick spurts, and everybody's aware of what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, Lee, appreciate you coming tonight and just giving us a little bit of insight. What are you majoring in? What do you want to
do? Sport and recreation management.
Okay, good. And you got to all classes today. I like that. Huh?
Yeah.
And no game this weekend, so Hawkeyes will have a couple days off. Raina, as always, a great job. Appreciate you stopping by, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. enjoy a few days of getting ready for the Northwestern Wildcats, and of course practicing all weekend, and nice to have a little bit of a break here coming off a road swing, and so much confidence now with this basketball team as Iowa takes care of Washington 85-61. So much to build on, and the Hawkeyes will be back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. That is always a great thing on Tuesday night against the Northwestern Wildcats. That's a 7 o'clock tip, and back here next Wednesday for Hawk Talk.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list: clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, MidAmerican Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new 9s in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
Woohoo! Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides the direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.